Picture stepping off a bullet train, leaving the crowded city behind, and retreating into the quiet mountains. For decades, international travelers have been captivated by the serene allure of Japanese wooden architecture, sliding doors, and private gardens. When a young traveler finally steps through the doors of her first traditional ryokan, she is usually brimming with curious excitement. She is about to cross a major item off her bucket list. The expectation is simple: an effortless descent into a centuries-old aesthetic, promising ultimate, stress-free relaxation. But desiring a picturesque cultural moment and actually being mentally prepared to step into its most vulnerable traditions require two entirely different mindsets. That cozy, romantic fantasy usually hits a brick wall the moment she steps into the changing room. Here, guests are confronted with a strict, non-negotiable rule: swimwear is forbidden. For an international visitor, this creates an immediate psychological vacuum. The ingrained, high-alert Western anxiety around public nudity crashes directly into the intense desire to be a polite, respectful guest. True cultural immersion rarely starts with a massage. It usually begins with a terrifying moment of being completely exposed. The walk from the locker to the water feels like a mile. Armed with nothing but a modesty towel the size of a washcloth, every step is careful and hyper-aware. But as she slides into the scalding water and glances around, she notices an immediate contrast. The local bathers are entirely unbothered, carrying on casual conversations or resting with their eyes closed. How can an environment that induces active panic in a foreigner create absolute peace for the people who live here? The answer lies in a sociological concept called hadaka no tsukiyai, which translates to naked relationship. This practice is intentionally designed to bypass societal hierarchy and foster honest, open connection. The onsen isn't built for exposure or judgment. It is a carefully engineered zone of mutual equality. This equality is maintained through strict physical protocols. Before a toe even touches the communal bath, everyone must sit at small washing stations and thoroughly scrub themselves from head to toe. This diagram illustrates a traditional onsen pool at its baseline, a highly purified, mineral-rich body of water meant to remain uncontaminated. Introducing a swimsuit ruins that baseline. Fabric traps detergent, dead skin, and dirt, instantly leaching chemical and bacterial residue into the water. Leaving your clothes in the locker room serves a secondary, psychological purpose. It means leaving your job title, your wealth markers, and your daily stress exactly where they belong: outside. Banning swimwear acts as a protective barrier, ensuring both absolute physical cleanliness and a level psychological playing field for everyone in the room. As the thick steam rolls across the water, the intense heat begins to do its work. The physical stiffness of the flight and the sharp spike of cultural anxiety start to physically melt away. There is a distinct moment when the mental block shatters. You realize that no one is staring, no one cares, and the logic of the space finally clicks. It is only when the ego and self-consciousness are fully stripped away that the beauty of the surrounding mountains, the quiet gardens, and the silence actually comes into focus. You cannot buy your way into the specific depth of relaxation. You have to earn it by paying the initial toll of your own embarrassment. By the time the traveler settles entirely into the bath, her expression mirrors the quiet calm of the locals, who were there long before her. Her journey is complete, moving from curious excitement through the jar of shock and awkwardness to a final state of deep admiration. The reward here wasn't the water itself, but the willingness to abandon a familiar habit. It's a reminder that the most vivid parts of a journey usually begin exactly where our comfort ends. Accepting the vulnerability of the onsen resolves the initial shock of the changing room. This shared openness is what makes Japan's deepest form of communal peace accessible.